Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to look at a brilliant response by Chris Hingham, and it's not to me. Today we have to fully credit Tattle, or a user on Tattle. It's not Tattle as a whole, it is a particular user, and this was quite brilliant, and I need to respond to Chris's insanity, right? I really do. So this person, he received, I think this was from over a year ago, and it says 8th of November 2022. Well, I think it was probably, I assume, in response to something that Chris was maybe put on Instagram about Andrew Tate, probably. That's what I assume. And they said, PMSL, that you're quoting a rape apologist. The irony. Any plans to go to Florida? Doubt it. Oh, by the way, you completely gave away your Bagman999 Twitter account on Halloween vlog. Good work. You really are too dense to cover your tracks. Wouldn't you just love to go to Florida? But you can't, can you? Sucks to be you. So Chris finally found the time to respond to this person. Apparently he or she had been messaging him for a few years, so well done, Chris, and getting back in timely fashion, about as timely as your merch customer service, isn't it? Yeah. Anyway, he says this: I wasn't going to dignify your message with a response, but as you happen to be lucky enough tonight for me to actually see your message in my spam folder, when I saw how long you've been trying to get my attention for, I felt it only fair on you that I replied. Bless. Firstly, Top G, he's referring to Andrew Tate here, yep. Top G is not a rape. Never has been. No, I think we'll have to beg to differ, possibly, Chris, because, certain outlets would have it believed that Andrew Tate did, in fact, for, those sort of things. I know, maybe, right, here's a theory, maybe Andrew Tate did do those things, but Chris Hingham doesn't see that those things are wrong. That is actually more worrying, in actual fact, if we look at it that way. Is that how you see it, Chris? Do you think it isn't wrong? Do you see that it isn't wrong? That's what you think, is it? It's okay to have differences of opinions. Just admit it, and we'll bring in some special people for you. So, Andrew Tate never has been, nor am I. So not sure how irony works there. So I'm not suggesting that you are, okay, Chris? I'm not, right? Plans to go to Florida? Hell yes. As soon as their government allows unvaccinated people into the country again, we will be the first one there. Mark my words on that. Really? Well, I know he wrote this before it became able, before you were able to travel again over there. But I believe that you are now able to travel. You are allowed. It is a thing now. Yeah. I haven't seen you go yet. Is that going to be the thing, that the big life-changing thing this year? You're going to go back to Florida, are you? I'd love to see that one. Seriously, that would be great. Goes on to say, just to clarify, because I know you and others struggle with this concept, but that is the only reason we have yet to travel back to the US. Well, what happened to, I don't know, before the pandemic, right? Before that was a thing. What happened, to going over? You didn't go anyway, did you, Chris? You didn't go anyway. Now, though, you have no reason not to go, isn't there? zero reason, you can't even claim finances as a problem, because apparently you have lots and lots of money that we would love to have, but just don't have your luck in life, do we, Chris? We don't have your luck. Thank God for that, innit? He goes on to say, also, to be clear, I have never broken a single law in my life. Not here in the UK or anywhere else in the world. Well, Chris, you've broken that record, haven't you? Because currently you're travelling around Europe in a clapped out, non-MOT'd van without insurance. That's gotta be some sort of illegal. You know, I'm just gonna say it's not my fault. It's not what I would class as entirely illegal. Anyway, a few other things I have never done, despite y'all's pathetic y'all's. I mean, right. I personally, no offense to any US citizens, but I don't like the term y'all. But the way he's done it is a nothing. It is a nothing. Your all is Y apostrophe all. You all, right? What you've put here is y'all. That doesn't make that's a nothing. I'm sorry. Anyway, sidetracked. Despite y'all's pathetic and desperate narrative, I have never messaged underage girls. Ooh. Right, so I think we have an impasse here, Chris. I think that we may have reached a point of your brain being a little bit, slow. See, from what I can gather, Chris believes, because he's always very careful on his terminology here, he's never messaged any underage girls. So because this girl was 16, that was fine, a-okay. He didn't break any laws. That is what he's clinging to, right? But the thing is that even if it's not illegal, it's still highly, highly suspect and morally corrupt. Right, it is. He goes on. Sorry, it's that's a desperate one. All you dickheads still push out, but is nothing but completely unfounded, made up bullshit. There is. This bit really annoyed me, actually. There is no such thing as a Chris Ingham victim. That's quite actually quite damaging to his actual victims, right? He goes on to say, because I have never done anything whatsoever to anyone that's illegal or harmful, wrong or otherwise in any respect, despite the narrative of you desperates, my biggest fans. So what he's saying here is there's no such thing as a Chris Ingham victim because he's never done anything illegal or harmful. Now, that's a very important difference, right? Because you're claiming, Chris, that you've never done anything illegal, right? You messaged a girl as she was 16. That's fine. It's not illegal, according to you. But it's also, according to you, not harmful. Now, I think this is where we beg to differ, right? I'm going to give you a little rundown, Chris Ingham, right? You know, I don't talk an awful lot about the allegations or the things that you did, right, in 2018. I may allude to them every now and again, but, you know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of other things that you're doing now which need to be talked about, right? But this is what you did do. And whether you think they're harmful or not, it doesn't even matter, right? What you did do, you took a fan of yours, right? A fan, she was 16 years of age. In fact, she was only just 16, right? So a few months prior, she would have been 15. You see the difference there. She also was a very young-looking 16-year-old. So, you know, that's by the by, you know, That's what your taste. I don't know, right? But she was a fan of you. She idolized you as a content creator. She idolized you, and you took advantage of that. That makes it harmful because you ended up taking her, who was a fan of you and your family, but she was a fan. You were her idol, and you took that situation and destroyed it and destroyed her in the process. Do you see how that was harmful? Or do you still not see how that's harmful? You know, that is what we call grooming, right? And that's, generally speaking, it's quite harmful to the victim, right? And yes, there is a victim at the end of a grooming process. Now, you'll say she was 16 and that's not illegal. On a technicality, Chris, on a technicality, but we're talking about harm here, not legalities. You have caused harm to that child. Yes, she was a child, and you did cause harm to her. Now, there are other victims too. There's the one, there was a couple that were 19, right? One in particular, you said to her, let me think, what did you say to her, right? Not to dredge it up too much, but she was going through a hard time. She felt like unaliving herself. And you said to her, come and meet me. You really need to hang out with a cool dude like me, right? Words to that effect. That was exactly what he said. Words to that effect, right? So your thoughts about saving this girl was, come and meet me, I'll save you. You know, that's all you need. You know, if you have suffering from mental health problem. And the other aspect with that particular person was that she was handed to you by your mother. Isn't that right, Chris? Isn't that right? Isn't that actually what happened, right? She was talking to Jane, and Jane said, Chris, will you have a word with this girl? Isn't that what happened? And then you groomed her. So when people say, oh, Jane, she's a lovely lady, isn't she? No, she is basically Chris's pimp, right? Okay, in that respect. So, sorry, I know I wasn't going to go into too much detail on this, but, you know, there's certain things when you remember actually what did happen and you think to yourself, should that have happened? No, it shouldn't have happened, Chris. It shouldn't have happened at all. And for you to say there's no such thing as a Chris Hingham victim, or you didn't do anything that was harmful, that's completely false. It's not even close to the truth, is it? Mm-mm. Then you took another girl who was a fan. Yes, she was 21 at the time, but you took her and you told her to come down for some skating, and I mean, I don't know the rights or wrongs with what she was going through, or, you know, what her thoughts were on this situation, but you definitely, from all accounts, you didn't treat her very well. I mean, I don't know the exact entire story, because, you know, it might be skewed by certain people involved, but from what I understand, you walked into the hotel room and said, well, basically took off your trousers straight away and just said, right, let's go on with it. And then after that, just treated her like shit. Is that what happened? Maybe it's just the way I'm remembering things, Chris. But anyway, yeah, those things are quite damaging to people. Harmful, one might say. Harmful. I would have thought so. Anyway, maybe it's just me. And that's not going into the situation where you asked a 19-year-old to drop her towel and resend. Yeah, I mean, promising to make people stars and stuff like that, you know, is what we call an abuse of power, right? Irrespective of their ages and the fact that they were over age, right? There's still certain things that you as an influencer can abuse, especially young minds. And a 19 or a 21-year-old, they still have that sort of young mind. You know, they're still growing, they're still learning about the world, etc. And you, as a 30-odd-year-old man, know more about the world, and you know, you are their idol. So, you know, I don't think I need to go on about this, Chris, do I? And then he goes on to this Bagman Twitter account, which I guess is a troll account that people claimed that he had at the time. And he says, okay, busted, you caught me. No, you didn't, because guess what? I have no idea what you are talking about. You realise Bagman is a legit Halloween film character. As much as I would love to take the credit for that, I am too busy. I'm so busy every day that I have barely time to respond to my own family's messages. Yeah, well, the thing there, Chris, is that it's not a stretch to think that you have had troll accounts, because it's kind of been proven that you have had, and you've employed your friends to go trolling on your behalf. That is something that actually happened, and you know it did. It's come out via, like, your friends or Sarah's friends. I don't think you've ever had friends, have you? Don't think so. Very much a loner, Chris. Very much a loner. So I can't dignify you with having a friend, I don't think. You think I also have time to troll people using my fake accounts online? Wheezing laughing at that one. As I said, you have proven to have had troll accounts in the past, Chris. It's not a stretch at all. I am also not a weirdo. Your hairdo says otherwise, doesn't it? So even if I had all the time in the world free, I would never spend my time doing such moronic things. Really? Really? Okay. But dense is not something you would call someone who's completely financially free and stable. Well, okay, right, I'll give you that one, Chris. I will give you that one. It takes a certain level of manipulative behaviour, which, you know, takes a certain intelligence level to be able to monetize their family and their kids and make their kids work for the money that you have. Yeah, I agree. You are very clever. Who owns multiple successful businesses that I built and that will keep my family financially free and stable long after the days of YouTube being a thing. And guess what? Y'all, dickheads, don't even know the first thing about any of it. None! And you never will. Until you had to, because you had to write a book about it because you needed people to buy. You know, you got a little bit skint, so you needed to sell your book, and then you decided to start up these courses which you claim to have already had. You know, because you were making certain claims in your book which weren't true, but you needed to make them true by making these businesses. And it's very odd, right? Very odd indeed, that we haven't seen one single business that you have claimed to be financially free from, right? I mean, I get why you might not want to show us, because, you know, people will go and troll it and try and destroy it, right? They will. But, you know, until I see hard evidence that you have made thousands upon thousands upon thousands, no, it's not happened, has it, Chris? Also, if you did have that amount of money, the things you have been doing recently in order to try and get money is embarrassing. And if you had that sort of money, you would not embarrass yourself in that way, right? At all, no. So I'll just keep on living my best life, smiling, completely, traveling the world, being completely content with my existence over here, never even giving you top fans a second's thought, because you don't affect me or anything that I do. despite your best efforts for the last 5 years. Some more clown emojis as well. Meanwhile, you'll still be spending all your days glued to my videos, making me money while you do. Thanks. All because you have nothing else in your lives than hatred and clear, massive boredom. What a sad and negative existence that must be. You better hope for your own sakes I never stop making videos. What the fuck would you fill your days with if I did? Laughing, 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 clowning, clowning, clowning. Then he says, peace. Remember, even if you claim to hate me, but you watch and obsess over everything I do, you're still a fan. In fact, my biggest fans, as is clear from your relentless messages over the years that I just found tonight. So the fact, when he says, you're not fans, you're my biggest fans, that's kind of an Andrew Tate thing, I think, that they like to say. That's what Tatey Boy says. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was exciting. You know, it was good. I enjoyed seeing Chris get very emotional. You know, he clearly thinks that he's innocent, and yes, maybe legally he is just bordering on the edge, right? But for everything else that I've mentioned, you know, about causing harm to people, he's done that a lot, you know, and it's not just those 3 girls or more girls, you know, that I mentioned. There are, you know, victims of Chris Hingham, you know, they're wide and varied throughout the years, right? And including his own kids, and he doesn't include his own kids in that. He doesn't think that he's caused them harm. Well, you know, you only have to look at them to know that that's not true, don't you? Anyway, that is my thoughts on the situation. Chris, if you'd like to respond, please do so in the comments down below. That would be great. I'd love to know what you think, you know, truly think. What do you really think? You know, it's yeah, break up your holiday, you know. I know you're over there in good old Scandinavia, but, you know, break it up a little bit. Have a little bit of a rant. That would be lovely. Anyway, until next time, please give this video a massive thumbs up. Comment all of your thoughts about it down below, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.